Hello people and welcome to this new class in where we are gonna see the preference command. Right now we are in the welcome screen. We know already very good this screen, and the thing is that if we want to create a new document, we hit new file, and then again and again we find picas as the default units. How can we change this from the very beginning? Well, then is when we have to use the preferences command. So I will close this new document window, and here in the top menu I click edit and I find preferences. This is in Windows. If you are working with a Mac computer, you gotta go to Indesign preferences. Once here I have many different options. I will start from general, the first one. The previous options are here in this specific preferences window, and now if our goal is to change the units, we should move over units and increments. Once here, we find different categories. The first one is called units and increments. We can read origin, horizontal, vertical, picas. Let's change it, centimeters and vertical centimeters. Look that we can even change the origin. Now the origin is from the spread, but it could be from page or from spine. We can even change here the units of the stroke. Now is in points, but can be millimeters as well. And down here we can even change the keyboard increments in case that we want to do it smaller or bigger. I hit OK, and then if I click File, on the right side of the screen under the preset details, the units now are centimeters, right? Imagine that I close InDesign and I open it again. This change will still prevail, so in my opinion is very handy. But you have to take into account that this only works if you don't have any document open. Otherwise, that change in the preferences will affect just to that document. Then, super important, again, if we want to make changes for all the documents, we have to do it from here, from the welcome screen, or if we don't have this welcome screen, because we can turn off this screen, in that case, we have to do it before we open any document. Then we move over Edit, Preferences. We can click directly the preference that we want to work with, but right now I would like you to have an overall view. Then I click General, and before finishing this class I will point out the most remarkable preferences in my opinion. Firstly, you can see that we can turn on or turn off this first box called Show Home Screen when no documents are open. Click on here, OK, and now when you open InDesign, that welcome screen will never pop up. In case we want to recover it, Edit, Preferences, General, and we turn on this first box. Next option, Interface. From here you will be able to change the color theme. By default is medium dark in this version, but you can easily make it dark gray, this medium light, or even super light. This is completely up to you. We can find here more and more options. I invite you to explore them, but now let's move to units and increments. We saw this already, so no more comments here. Next one is called grids. This is important. In the future we will work a lot with the grids, but I would say that it is a kind of complex aspect of InDesign. It will help us a lot to make professional documents, so we will study these grids in a very deep mode. So now I will skip it and let's move to guides and pasteboard. We find pasteboard options, horizontal margins and vertical margins. Thanks to this option, we can increase or decrease the space we have around our paper. I'll show you now what I am talking about. Remember, we are in guides and pasteboard. Okay, new file, create. This document has 5 pages. If I scroll down, I can move around these pages, and this space in gray color around the page is what we can modify easily from that preferences option. Let's do it, and remember that now we are working on this file, not in the general settings of InDesign. So edit, preferences, guides and pasteboard, and down here I would say horizontal margins instead of 15 centimeters, just 6. Okay, zoom out. You can see around the paper this pasteboard in another kind of gray, which will be used to paste vectors, photos, etc. etc. It is something very handy and depends on your taste. You will like it bigger or smaller. The 6 centimeters we set already is the distance from the last line of our paper, in this case this blue line, the gather line, and the final margin of the paste board. Coming back to my preferences window, I'll move to dictionary. Pay always attention on using the correct language, because for example all the hyphenations will be done accordingly to that dictionary. So you can avoid a lot of mistakes using of course the proper language. Let's go to spelling. An interesting option here is this one, dynamic spelling. We can click or unclick this option, and from here we can even change the color for the different corrections. Once activated, okay, zoom in, text, hello guys, I hope, and then first mistake. One O is missing and the red underline is making the alarm. Right click, we can check the dynamic spelling on and different suggestions, right? I select hope and done. Coming back here again, we find more and more options. Autocorrect, we can make our own list of misspelled words and their corrections. To finish the class, I would like to point out this file handling option, in where you will find the document recovery data folder and different options related with the savings. So just take a look at this. During the course, we will go deeper and deeper in some of these options. Now time to say goodbye, and I see you in the next class.